So this is the man, the myth, the legend,
Hi guys.
Don.
Beautiful day in
Beautiful
Ohio.
day, yeah.
Nice and warm. Nice 34 degrees.
Indeed. So Don, I was talking a little bit about your channel and some of the things that you've been doing, and also your theater. So if you want, the audience is yours.
Hi guys. Well, theater's called Main Street Theater. I'm not sure what all Josh had said, but my wife and I purchased it 11-ish years ago, and it was an old single-screen movie theater, which those are a dying breed these days anymore. It's too hard for a little mom and pop shop to keep a single-screen movie theater operating because the costs are so high as far as whenever you get a film from any of the large studios, they require so much of the ticket sales that they have to pay. For instance, they'll require like a 3-week run, and the first week the studio will require about a 90 to 95% cut on their ticket sales, which in a small town, most of the people come to see it that first week, and they're only, bringing in maybe 5 to 10% of their ticket sales. And that's why concessions are so expensive in these movie theaters, because they don't make a whole lot of money off the tickets. They're basically glorified candy stores. But, we did the whole first run movie thing for a while, but originally our vision was to create a drama ministry, a faith-based drama ministry. And it took a while for us to get the right people in place. At the time when we purchased it, I was working full-time in a hardware company that I had, and so I basically didn't have time to do the day-to-day operations of it. But there was many ups and downs. We had, I like to say it's like a roller coaster, that we had, your highs and your lows, and now we're kind of leveling out here, and things are.
So talk a little bit about some of the ideas that you have with Back to Dust Studios, maybe a little bit about the formation of the company and where you started out, and then where you plan on going.
Yeah. Well, Back to Dust Studios was kind of it was an idea that I had, I'd say at least maybe 10, 15 years ago. And I was sitting at home and I was reading Psalms 90, and that's a Psalms from Moses. And there was a statement in there where it says, like, God will send men back to dust. And I thought, man, that's just such a humbling statement. Like, we came from dust, and with a word he can send us back, And at the time I liked the name, but I was thinking more in regards to, like, that'd be a cool band name or something, if I ever, because like Josh, I play some instruments, and I always had that in the back of my head that it'd be fun to put a little group together. So I just I parked the backtodust.com domain and just really didn't do anything with it for a decade. And after my career in software, I always sort of desired to get into game development, and that's a hard nut to crack, because anymore there are millions of games, say, on the App Store for iPhone, and I mean, it's almost like YouTube. You put your content out there, and you're this tiny little fish in this huge sea, and you're trying to get people to see you, and it's just hard. You basically have to be more of a marketer than like a software engineer, or in YouTube regards, more of a marketer than actually a content creator. It's almost sad, but it seems like you have to spend more time that way even to get noticed. But so I had this idea, let's try it out. Let's do a couple little indie quick games, and I made a couple, posted them on the App Store, worked on a couple other things that never came to fruition, but we actually probably about 2 years ago decided to take a little different path with our theater. We added a frozen yogurt shop to it, and that was a big waste of my time. Probably a good year and a half waste of my time.
Yeah, sometimes you gotta try things and see what happens, and if they don't work, they don't work. Although
that's for sure.
sometimes drains the bank account.
Unfortunately, that's some of the best ways we learn is by doing and failing, because in reality, at the end of your life, you're not really going to regret the things that you did. You're going to regret the things that you haven't done.
Right.
And maybe you had an opportunity to. So I kind of took a break from the whole software thing. I was a little frustrated with just how hard it was to get anybody to see your stuff. And to be honest, the first 2 little games that I put out, they were just quick. More of the learning process, because I came from a Microsoft background, and deciding to switch to Mac, I had to learn a whole new development environment. So it was more of, I was trying to really engross myself into the programming language called Objective-C and Swift on Mac that, the games weren't all that great, and I just put them out for free anyhow. So they did get a few downloads, and the App Store's kind of funny. You'll have like 0 downloads, and then 1 month you'll get 700 downloads from China. And you're like, what happened there, And somebody saw it, and it just, kind of took off for a bit, and then a couple days later it'll go back to like no downloads. But, so I did that for a while, and after the yogurt shop, I tried to get back into it. In fact, I'm almost done with the game right now. I'm just having a hard time getting back into finishing it. I blame Josh for that, because Josh's film Beasts of Our Fathers was filming in last October, and I'd helped out as a grip on set, and that whole world just fascinates me. I guess back up a few years prior to that, I got into photography. Another friend of mine got me into photography, and I just loved it. It just became one of those things like, wow, how did I not really get into this sooner, Mm-hmm. I think it was probably 2013 is when I started getting into photography. So then helping out with Josh's film, the bug bit, it was like, I don't even want to go back and finish my software. I just want to create content and do this sort of thing. And I think a lot of it was just not having the confidence in myself to really put it out there,
Mm-hmm.
I had the equipment, and I was a creative guy, so I figured, I could probably come up with some things, but just lacking that confidence because I've never really done anything like that.
So yeah, if you haven't yet, go over to Back to Dust Studios on YouTube and make sure you subscribe to his channel. He has some really awesome stuff up there, and some different ideas that I think coming out in the future will be pretty funny, pretty entertaining. But we're just about to get here to the studio, and we'll take you a little bit behind the scenes and kind of talk to you a little bit more about what we're doing.